Hello world, my name is James Rhinus and I'm super excited to be back here with you guys again. This is episode number 5 and let me tell you, it's been an amazing journey. So to everybody that's been out there giving us shout outs, we are super happy, really happy with the feedback and really thank you for everything that you guys have been inputting into us. So guys, today my topic is, do you operate at 80 yards or do you operate at 160 yards? Now, you're going to think that's a bit of a weird topic for what we're talking about, but bear with me. So a couple of questions before we get started is, what do you do? What do you do for a living? I mean, are you a sports person? Are you in a corporate job? Maybe you're in a sales environment. Maybe you're a techie. Maybe you're into tech and the whole tech space. Maybe you're into IT and the dev space. Or maybe you're a student. Now, I'm sure you'll agree with me that there's a certain level that you operate in to get by every single day. Now, in that, what I mean is that in your job, that whatever you do, there's certain things that you do to get by, and what you're going to need is you probably need some tools to get by. So let's just say that you're into sports and you're maybe a hunter or a sports, one of the shooters, bow and arrows. You need more bow tech to get better distance. Maybe you're in a corporate job and you need higher equipment. Maybe you need a better laptop, you need better equipment, better visual equipment. Maybe it's just a better product. Maybe you're in sales and you just need a better product. Or perhaps you're a tech and you every piece of tech, new better tech, bigger size tech, maybe that's your thing. Or maybe it could be you're into dev and you're looking for a better string of code, might be whatever in that code, you might need something else. Or maybe it's just about you're a student and you need better environments to work in, better books, better access to websites to learn. Now, those are all good and well, and you would agree with me that those will help you get a certain way in whatever you do, am I right? Okay guys, so I want to tell you a story about a guy I came across while doing a bit of research, and his name is Cameron Haynes. Now this guy is based in the States, I believe, and he is a professional bow hunter. Now guys, just before we get started, I just want to let you know I'm not endorsing hunting in any form, just wanted to extract some principles and share some insights around it with you. Now, what you're going to see with Cameron is that as he starts talking in these snippets I'm going to show you, you're going to see he extracts the tools from the problem. He never talks about the tools, okay? Takes the tools out of the equation. Okay, this guy's just super passionate about what he does.
The reason why I think this setup works, and it's not because it's a Spider Turbo, but it's because it's a forgiving bow. I shoot a long axle-to-axle bow. This is the Turbo, like I mentioned, so it's a little longer. I shoot great strings, winner's choice string. I'm not saying you have to shoot winner's choice, but shoot a string that won't stretch. This is what I've shot for years and it works.
Okay, so a lot of guys will say they're the best, but if you aren't accurate in this sport or in anything, then you can't be successful, all right? Okay, so what Cameron says is that in order for you to be excellent at the 80-yard shot, in his case it's a shot, what you've got to do is you've got to be phenomenal at the 160-yard mark, right? Now, you can just replace that with whatever you do, okay? But if there's something that you do now and you want to be excellent at it, you want to be phenomenal at it, right? What you've got to do is you've got to take that and double it, be great at that, and then reverse it back, and then you will be excellent and phenomenal at that 80-yard mark, okay?
So part of my accuracy strategy is I shoot out to 160 yards. That's just what I do. I'm not saying anybody else has to do it. That's what I do. And it works for me. And what that does is if I can hit at 160, I know at 80 yards, like I just hit at that deer in the 12 ring every single time. I'm hunting distance. I'm half what I practice. All right. So if everybody was disciplined enough where their hunting distance was half of what they practice, I think would be pretty good. So I practice out to 160. And I feel really confident out to 80. I'm hunting out.
I then came across another guy who also, while researching, I found this guy who obsesses about making his own equipment, right? He's also into bow hunting, but he hunts for a very different reason. This guy hunts for food and survival. So what he does is he just obsesses about making sure that everything he puts into his bow gets him to where he needs to be. And ironically, this guy specifically that I'm going to show you a clip on, gets his bow to shoot at 240 kilometers an hour. I mean, that's faster than most superbikes or supercars. Now, you got to look into that and say, how does a guy get a piece of stick that he's taken out of a tree 2 or 3 hours prior to that, make a bow or an arrow shoot to 240 k's an hour? Well, it's exactly the same reason why Cameron is excellent and phenomenal at 80 yards. So my question to you are you just trying to get past at 80 yards? And are you hitting and missing? Okay. Are you winning every third race? Are you winning half the time? You're not winning all the time? Okay. Are you building half a program? Maybe it's in a space where you just get kind of half the way, or you just getting through a piece of code that you just got through and wasn't great, but you kind of delivered on it. Are you always getting 50%, just scraping that 50% in when you're writing an exam? Okay, or you maybe never just get to, you're in a project and you're just never getting to launch it, or never getting yourself out there, or it's just never enough. It's just always just scraping along. So what's probably going on here is because you're not operating at 160. Your 160 is actually 80 yards, which actually then makes your 80 yards 40 yards. So I'm going to play that back to you again. So what we're saying here is your 160 is actually your 80. Okay, so when you're operating at your 80, if you're shooting at 80, your accuracy and excellence is going to be at 40. So you need to be very, very clear what your 80 is in this scenario. Okay, so what are you going after? Because if it's 80, then make sure it's 160, not assume that you're going after 160 and you're actually ending up on 80, which means you're delivering at 40. Make sense? Great. Okay guys, so as we do every week, I'm going to leave you 3 pieces to reflect on and work on for the week ahead. First one is really important. So what do you truly want to excel in? What is it that you do, whether it be a sports person? We went through a whole bunch of examples. What is it that you truly want to excel at? Identify and understand what that is. That piece, you need to be very, very clear on what that actually is. Then secondly, what does your 160 yards look like? So if your first one is get excellent at this, make sure that your 160 yards is double that so that you become great at this. And an easy example is, let's say you got to run a 42-kilometer race. Do not go and train to be a 42-kilometer race distance athlete. Train at 60, 80-kilometer marks, and then you'll be great at the 40K mark. That's as simple as example as I can give you. Okay, and thirdly is, remember, it's got nothing to do with your equipment. Okay, nothing to do with the equipment. All right, in the second example, the guy, the analogy I gave you was really around how he needs to fend and how he needs to do it for a different reason. But his 180 yards is very similar to the guy before that. Okay, so don't blame your equipment. Don't focus on the equipment. What you've got to focus on is the piece, the piece that you need to deliver on. And you need to understand what that is and stop just playing at that space. Because if that's what you're trying to deliver, and most of us are trying just to get that piece there, don't just try to get to that piece there. Set a goal, double the size of that. And then when you're operating at this goal here, you're going to deliver amazingly. All right. So guys, as I always say, I want you to go all in this week or don't go in all. And I will certainly catch up with you next week. Have an amazing week. Thanks, guys.